Hey everyone, welcome back to another tutorial. This time I'm going to go over the TimeIntDriver component. The TimeIntDriver component is probably a better way to handle the animated GIF that's from the previous video a few weeks ago. I'll link that video down below so you can see where that is. Again, don't use this for actually playing animated GIFs, just use it to learn how the TimeIntDriver works and how the Boolean switch works as shown in the previous video. So to get started, I'm going to go ahead and spawn that GIF. It's in my public folder under tutorials, and we'll head into smooth POV so I don't get lost. So if you remember from the previous tutorial, this is powered by a different component. I don't actually remember which one it was powered by. Boolean switcher, panner, yes, I powered it by a panner, and so panners only support flutes. We're going to swap the panner out for what's called a TimeIntDriver. So to do that, we're going to go ahead and delete the panner 1D here. And we're also going to get rid of all the LogiX because we don't actually need that anymore. The TimeIntDriver operates on integers, which means that we don't need to do any conversion. So there we go, that's deleted. Go back up to the frames. And now we're going to add the components. So attach component, transform drivers, TimeIntDriver, it's right there in the transform drivers, and then in the target here, put the active index for the Boolean switcher. You'll notice here that it immediately took the int, but that's because it's running under an int, not a float. And then on the scale here, we can put 37. And then here we need to, well, that's not actually the scale, the repeat's 37 because we want it to repeat 37 times. And out of the scale, let's put around 10. That's too slow. Let's try 25. That's more like it. So there you go, that's all set up. So the scale is how fast the int increases, and the repeat is how many times it will increment until it goes back around to 0 again. There is also another property on the TimeIntDriver called ping pong, which is quite interesting. Ping pong will make it go forwards and then backwards. You can see how we're going up and down the GIFs here. We've also got it going backwards and forwards. That can be useful for some other things. So there's an example of using the TimeIntDriver to drive this GIF. Again, don't use this in sort of production scenarios. I am going to show a more reliable use case of using it that doesn't involve that silly GIF setup, and that is in a procedural mesh. So we're going to use a cylinder mesh here. So if we go to our developer tooltip, we go to create new, 3D, and then cylinder. I'm actually using my own dev tooltip here. That's a mistake. Let's get a normal one out. There we go. So if you open up a cylinder in the inspector, you'll see that the cylinder has a bunch of properties up here under the cylinder mesh. We'll go over procedural meshes in perhaps another video, but here you can see height, radius, and sides. Sides is the integer that we're going to drive with the TimeIntDriver here. So let's go ahead and add that. So attach component, transform drivers, TimeIntDriver. And again here we're going to drop in the integer we want to drive, so in this case sides. And then we're going to set the repeat to 32, and then the scale to around 10. Let's up that to 20 actually. And now you can see that the cylinder starts as a pyramid, or like a pyramid. Not a pyramid, like a triangle cylinder. I don't know what you'd call that. There's some sort of geometric name term for that shape. But then it gradually gets more sides until it reaches 32, and then it goes back around to 0 again. If I turn on ping pong here, you'll see that we get a cylinder that orients both ways. So it goes up on the sides and then down on the sides. And there you go. That is the TimeIntDriver. I will put this cylinder in my public folder under tutorials so you can take a look at it. Play around with the TimeIntDriver. It's useful for ints only. For floats, use panner 1D or panner 2D, etc. Check my videos on that. Those will be in the description as well. I will see you next time.